Welcome to Swish and Flick, an all Potter podcast.
Swish and flick. Everyone? Swish and flick.
Hello and welcome to episode 123 of Swish and Flick. I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Sasa.
And that's all you get today.
Yeah, that's it.
So congratulations to you. No, I'm just kidding. Every December we do our little bit of a break where we kind of pair off and do episodes that aren't necessarily chapter episodes because, you know, December gets busy, family events and all of that. So today you are getting the Gryffindor and Ravenclaw episode. So we're going to dive into our house and our founders, and that's gonna be it.
Yeah, so there's not really like a weekly profit, but I will say tune in. So this is gonna come out the last weekend of December.
Yes.
So next weekend we're starting Order of the Phoenix. I almost called it a prophet. I don't know what is wrong with me.
We're starting a prophet.
I'm struggling with that name so bad.
Just say order. Don't say the
but
whole
thing. But I can't
thing.
say order. Like it.
Why?
I don't know why. Order makes me think of not that. I don't know.
Say Phoenix.
I can't say Phoenix.
Why?
I just had to say the whole Order of the Phoenix.
Okay.
Op.
We're starting op.
So we're gonna go live that day. That day is our Swishmas. So it's just gonna be the four of us this year. Two of our friends are gonna come out and help us. Jen might be there. I don't know. It depends on how she's feeling. So we're going to go live. We're going to do the first episode live for everyone. And probably like be live a little bit extra. Maybe do some giveaways, do some stuff. So come, we're probably gonna be live on Facebook or YouTube, but like watch that day, like all of our social media spaces. And we will let you know.
I think we were mostly
we're
talking
on doing.
YouTube because it's just
a little bit
better.
easier.
It's faster. So when we go live on Facebook in particular, the comments are so delayed. And I feel like sometimes it's too delayed where we have to backtrack in the conversation. And then it gets like kind of weird. Yeah. Especially if we're doing a chapter episode. We don't want to be all over the place for that. You know, we want to consistently like go through it. So
yeah. So
tube of you.
Yeah. So just come and check us out.
Yeah, definitely.
We will be hanging out. We're going to be doing the first episode live.
Yeah. I'm
excited. All that fun stuff. So
that's kind of like our weekly profit.
That's our weekly profit for this weekend episode. So also like we made it through 2019. Going into a new decade.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, little segue, not little, but like, let's talk. Do you have anything you want to do for 2020? I want 2020 vision.
I want to meet Barbara Walters.
I kind of hope that they're going to do that. People were talking about having her like.
I thought it was like a running internet joke, but I hope it like comes to fruition. Like I think that would be hilarious.
Yes.
I'm Barbara Walters and this is 2020. Yeah, it is, Barbara. Yeah, it is.
I enjoy.
You mean just like in that 1 year?
Sure. Year, decade, whatever.
Safe trips.
Yeah. Well, Swish is going to be traveling a lot this year.
A lot, yeah.
We're going to both Leaky Cons.
And I'm sure things will pop up as
for sure.
the year goes.
But I'm excited really because with all of that stuff, we're going to meet a ton of you guys. So I'm very excited for that.
We have it is literally like a tiny bit less than a year away, but our family is going to go to Disney and Universal for a long weekend. And I've never been to Disney, as some of you might remember. So I am like over the moon excited to start planning that trip. And I get to try hot butterbeer for the first time.
Oh, it's so good. I'm so excited.
I've never had hot because I always go in the summer.
It's delicious.
I'm pretty pumped for that. I'm pretty pumped for Denver. It'd be really cool if we could go to a game.
Yeah, I'll go. I will watch the Broncos with you.
Yeah, and you'll cheer for them too.
Sure. I won't know what's going on, but I'm excited for this year for Swish. I mean, really, every year we kind of get to do a little bit more and meet a lot more of you, and that's honestly some of the best parts is meeting you guys. So, we're excited. So let's just talk about the two greatest houses.
Yeah.
Ever.
Number
1, we all know is Ravenclaw because it's
false in this document.
Everybody's
it says
a Ravenclaw.
Gryffindor.
Everybody wants to be a Ravenclaw.
Do they?
They just can't get in.
I thought everybody wanted to be a cat.
I was about to say the same thing. I was like, well, everybody actually wants to be a cat, but
I think that's false because I don't want to be a cat. I want to be a dog.
I'm more of a cat anyways, because cats are kind of left alone where, you know, like you don't want to, like, you want to love them and be close to them, but they might claw your eyes out. You know what I mean?
Oh. So first up is the Godric Gryffindor.
Godric Gryffindor.
So a lot of what we're going to talk about is speculated dates, what we think maybe, and then some hard canon facts. So bear with us on this. Born before 976 in Godric's Hollow, which was later named for him, probably after the school was founded, and they're like, he's from there, let's do it. So that was in the West Country of England. His blood status is likely pure blood or half blood, but I think probably pure, just because of the time.
Yeah, and it's kind of the same thing is said about Rowena. They're like, she might be pure or half
because of the way that Slytherin operated. I feel like he would have been a little bit, you know, feel a certain way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So his death date is unknown. So I assume he was probably pretty up there.
Yeah.
So the founder's life. Did you know that he helped to found Hogwarts? I know.
What? I did not know that.
It's actually amazing. I can't even believe it. So he's said to be one of the, quote, best duelists of his time. And this is something that's like carried on through, I feel like all the things we read about Gryffindor, I feel like everybody knows that he was like a really great duelist. And I think that's probably where like that courage and bravery trait comes from. Is that, I don't know.
Well, to think about, like, so we know that it said that he and Salazar were buddies. Mm-hmm. So think about, like, how with Neville, Dumbledore says, you know, it takes, like, a lot of courage or whatever to stand up to your enemies, but it takes even more courage to stand up to your friends.
Yes. And
so he has to do that with, you know, they don't want to limit anyone with magical blood coming into Hogwarts and being able to learn. Mm-hmm. And he stands up to his friend.
He does. Pulls a Neville. Didn't even know it.
Well, really, Neville's pulling a Gryffindor.
I'd like to think it's Neville. I feel
Neville.
Like is a time traveling Gryffindor.
You heard it here first. Neville time travels. Ron might be Dumbledore. Who knows?
Ron Dumbledore's the thing. Listen, don't rule it out.
I have to like scoot my whole life around so I can actually look at you.
Oh, okay. I do enjoy gazing into your eyes.
I don't like not being able to look at your beautiful face.
I know. This green microphone is in the way. I wonder whose that is.
I don't know.
Me neither. Snakes not allowed in this episode.
No snakes.
Speaking of snakes, it is said that Gryffindor and Slytherin were really close friends at one point, and then they weren't so great friends.
And then they weren't.
After Slytherin, you know, wanted to only allow certain people and teach certain people in Hogwarts. So it was actually Gryffindor's hat that was the hat that was made into the sorting hat. So each of the founders enchanted the hat to choose the students for their houses. So I thought that was nice that he gave the hat off of his head. And I think the song that the sorting hat sang in Sorcerer's Stone was like they put some bits of brain in me or something like this.
Mm-hmm.
But
it almost sounds like, could it have been a Horcrux?
But
something along those lines.
Or is it just like bits of brain, but like just not like just enchanting?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it could be. Because I think they all put stuff in there. So maybe if it was just one person doing it, it wouldn't have been like as magical or lasted that long. Mm-hmm. And then maybe they haven't been used every year. Like it just gets stronger.
Yeah. I agree. So after his death, there was a portrait that was hung in the castle, and it guards the shortcut between the 7th floor landing and the staircase to the entrance hall side room. And it said that the password is Starshine. And I was like, where in the world was this from? Well, it was the Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban PC game. Mm. So take that, you know, with whatever you want.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I do like this. So, J.K. Rowling once jokingly stated that if Godric Gryffindor was still alive, he would be the giant squid that lived in the Hogwarts lake, and that would make him the biggest animagus and quite possibly the oldest in the wizarding world. And at the 11th hour of each night, the squid would change back into Gryffindor, who would wander the school grounds before returning to his squid form. And it should be noted that Rowling was sarcastically trying to make a point, so obviously the statement cannot be considered canon. And that's from the Harry Potter wiki.
It's hilarious.
I would love it if he was the giant squid and people are just tossing him toast all the time. And he's like picking up like Dennis Creevy and like putting him back.
I love it.
I don't know. It's just fun. So Godric Gryffindor is the only founder not to have descendants mentioned in the series.
Who's Hufflepuff's descendant?
I don't know. I can't remember it off the top of my head.
We just looked it up because, you know, we have to do things like that. So it's Hepzibah.
Hepzibah Smith.
Yes.
So I wonder, isn't there a Smith in Hufflepuff?
Is it Zachary Smith? Is that his name?
Zachariah
I don't know if he's
or something.
I don't know if he's a.
Oh, maybe he's a Ravenclaw.
But who knows? He might be.
But I do like this part. So there was a rumor going around for a while that the Potters were descendants of Gryffindor. And then the wiki put out that this was probably started by James Potter, but it was later debunked by Joe. Yeah, so they're not related. I mean, you can't be related to the Peverils and the Gryffindors, but could you?
But that does sound like something James would do. Be like, yeah,
I'm just direct descendant.
I used to do in Northeast Ohio. There's
he is a Puff. Zachariah Smith is a Puff.
Awesome.
Everybody's like, boo. Sorry.
There's so in Northeast Ohio there's this place called Mally's and they do chocolate. And they also, if you were ever in Cleveland, they have great hot fudge. So a hot fudge sundae from Mally's is so good.
What are you talking about?
I'm going to tell you.
Oh,
talking about James Potter being like, I'm related to this person.
Okay.
I used to say, since my last name is O'Malley.
Oh my god.
I was like, yeah, we're related, but they dropped the O. Not related. The Malleys are a separate family from the O'Malleys.
Oh my goodness. That's hilarious. You would say stuff like that. You're funny.
Yeah.
The name Gryffindor is Welsh in origin, and it later spread to Ireland in the 12th century. And that's a little fun fact for you. So getting into the characteristics of the Gryffindor house, we have courage, daring, nerve, bravery, determination, and strength of heart.
I like that.
Yeah, I like the strength of heart part because that can go in a bunch of different directions. We're very much emotional people, Gryffindors, I feel. Not emotional like I'm so emotional I'm going to cry, but emotional like we're passionate about things.
Yes.
Like you don't say. But I do feel like we're very passionate, fiery people. And actually, let's get into that. So the color red, which is one of like the main Gryffindor colors. I think like I'm not going to go into like the gold, but the color red is the color of fire and blood. So according to the internet, I accidentally deleted the source, but it is associated with energy.
Mm-hmm. It always reminds me thinking of like Aries. Like Aries are a fire sign. Mm-hmm. They're red. They're bold, you know?
Oh my gosh. Do you know what we should do? We should put a poll out and see like, are you a Gryffindor and are you an Aries and things like that?
I think someone did it in our Facebook group a while ago.
A while ago. We should do it again.
And because it even thinks like the Greek god, it's a Greek or Roman. The Roman god, I think it's of war. I think they're colored like the red. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's just really interesting to me.
Yeah.
To see. I mean, I'm not a Gryffindor. I don't even think that would be like my second or third house. But I'm an Aries.
Yeah.
Blue. I look good in it, but it's not my like. I'm not a very calming. Well, you know what? That's a lie. I'm very calming when I'm at work, when I'm like sitting with patients. Mm-hmm. But I'm not. I don't think I have like a big calming personality. You know?
Yeah. Tam says Aries is Greek.
Aries is Greek, and then is it Mars, the Roman one? I believe is the Roman god of war. So.
Awesome. So that's like the color significance. So the emblem significance. So we are lions in Gryffindor. And so the lion, according to, I like this, antiflow.com, the lion is seen as a positive attribute. It symbolizes courage, justice, wisdom, pride, dignity, dominating, power, authority, material wealth, and riches. And I feel like a lot of those are actually like super, well, obviously like the courage is like spot on, but like that pride and that dignity and dominating, I from time to time, you know, I can have that kind of takeover type deal.
It makes me think too of like the Cowardly Lion and how he just really wants to be brave. It's like, because they're like, what do you mean you're a cowardly lion?
Right. It just doesn't make sense. So I like that from like, I mean, the Wizard of Oz has been around for forever.
Yeah.
And that's always been like a thing. So even before then, I wonder where that came from. I don't know. I like it though.
Yeah.
How well do you feel like I fit?
You're very much a Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Like, when you talk about...
Let's talk about me. No.
Well, like when you talk about it, you're very much like that brave person where like I can be like, if I need to be, like go up and talk to whomever and do things and like, but it's not like my first thing to do. Like I would rather like stay at home and read a book and like not talk to people. And where you are like loud and not in a bad way, like outgoing and I don't know how to explain it.
But you feel like I'm like a pretty good fit?
You're a very passionate person. Where I feel like my passions are quieter-ish, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know how to describe it.
I'm very much, and I learned this about myself in like my mid-20s. I'm very much, if I want it, I'm going to get it.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same way. I think, so the thing with like, so we're very similar people because we're both Aries.
Right.
But we just also have like similar likes and stuff in real life and everything.
Yeah.
So it's like almost hard to be like, well, you're an Aries and you do this and this because like I'm also an Aries and like, you know, I just don't ever really see myself as a Gryffindor. But like I'm like a super adventurous person. I can be like, if I need to be courageous, I can be. It's just not something I choose. And obviously like you're an intelligent person. You're pretty witty. Like, I would say to the two, well, but you're also like super creative. Like you literally like can draw and paint and do all those things where like I'm creative in different ways where like I'll think outside the box.
Yeah, very much so.
And I think that's the part of me that makes me the Ravenclaw is like, I don't look at something.
You and I see things differently.
Yes. I think I see, like, I think that's the one thing about me is like, like Swish will be struggling with like an idea to do something and it'll literally be like, can you just give me 5 minutes? Let me think of something and I'll come up with like 3 different ways that something might work.
You are incredibly creative that way. Yeah.
And like with hair, like you can be, I'd love to do updo. So like that's another creative thing that I do is like literally playing with people's hair. But ask me to draw you a picture, it's gonna look like a 2-year-old drew it because it's not good. But like I think like for to be like a teacher to like go up and have to deal with like kids all day, and then be like a lot of times it's the parents that are like the worst part of that. It takes a lot of nerve and bravery to do that every day.
Yeah, it's hard to deliver some things to parents who don't want to hear it. So I guess that's some of my bravery. And
I think that like part of your like Gryffindorness, like Tam is saying, like when you get fired up, like you're Griff, like you can get like where I can get passionate, but you get there quicker than I do.
Yeah.
Where I used to be very much like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a firecracker. Like it would start and I'm like already there. Where not saying this is a bad thing and not bad for you, but for me it was like I went from 0 to 60 really quickly, and like hot-headedly. Where now I like have calmed myself and I'm like, okay, like let me think about, like I stop and I think.
Yeah.
because it was not constructive the way I did it. Where yours is differently, usually. You know what I mean? Because no one's perfect.
Yeah.
But
yeah. No, I definitely agree with those things. Yeah. But I do have that hot-headed nature.
I also think it's like a bit of an Aries trait. Like I very much like people know that like my mom jokes around, like my family will joke around that like you don't say no to Sarah, like you never know what she's gonna do. Like you don't want to make her mad. And like there'll just be like a day where I just don't and we both do this. Like if we're upset or mad, it's like I don't want to talk about it. Like I'm very much a crier, but I hate to cry.
Yeah.
So it gets hard where like you don't want to have that emotion come out, but like so it's like just don't talk to me because it's gonna make it worse.
Yeah.
So people are like they don't know which way I'm gonna lean. She's either gonna be like, yeah, like let's have a conversation and I'm gonna talk it out and I might seem mad, but I'm not mad at you, or I'm just gonna be mad at everyone and like take it out on you.
You don't say. No. I mean, obviously, we all handle things differently.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that hot-headed nature, that's me. And I also wonder if a lot of other Gryffindors are like this. If I have this thing where if you're like, say picking up my house, if you're not like we're in cleanup mode, if you're not like doing it, then like, what are you doing? Like,
but you know what also ticks me though is like, if they're not doing it how you would do it, like don't even talk. You know what I mean? Like that's even worse.
yeah. So sometimes I have like, I want you to know what to do.
Yes, without me having to tell you.
Exactly.
Uh-huh. Yep.
People aren't mind readers. Why are we this way?
I don't know.
It's not right. So sometimes I'm like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
And Marty will literally say to me, he'll be like, I don't know what you're thinking. And it's like, after 11 years, why not?
Yeah.
No.
Like there's even times with me, like, I can just be like, if I'm trying to handle my stress better. And this last really month and a half of school and like my personal life has just been crazy stressful. So like I haven't really been talking to a ton of people. And it's not that I'm like, it's just been stressful and I've been handling it. It's been constructive. Like I'm not doing anything like self-destructing or anything like that. It's just me not talking as much as like I'm saying things when I need to say things kind of thing. Like I just don't text a lot. And I'm just not that type of person anyways. I can't text people all the time. It's just not my thing. So then people are like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. I'm just staying away from everything and just trying not to worry about myself and my friends and stuff like that. So like that's how I get now. I just get quiet.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. As long as I'm not doing bad things. You know what I mean?
It's just not like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can tell you're having a season.
Yep. I'd love for it to be over. In a good way.
We have to.
I want good things to happen.
Yeah, we go through them. Tam, you said something so incredibly nice about me, and I think if I read it, I will cry. So.
Do you want me to read it?
You can read it, and
are you gonna still cry?
I might, and then we can keep going with. We'll talk about the common room.
Tam says, I think you look on the surface. If you look on the surface, you can easily assume that Tiff is a Ravenclaw because she is bright and all about the facts and details. But when you peel the layers, the bold, brave, and chivalry really shines through in the passion of being a good person. Tiff is a defender of the people. I agree.
Some nice words. I'm not crying. You're crying. No, that means a lot to me because I wasn't always that outspoken about being a defender of the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's I mean, I think
it's hard to be.
Yes. Cause it's almost like you don't want to have that confrontation part, but at the same time it's like you can go ahead and do that, but like I'm in the right by being like, why you just need to be a nice person.
Right.
Like there's nothing wrong with it and that's how everyone should be.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that people aren't like that.
Tam, love you. All right. Let's go.
I'm also that way. If you cry in front of me, I will also cry.
Oh, yeah. Sarah and I have done that so much. Yeah. So let's go on to the Gryffindor common room. So it is located, and we know the most about the Gryffindor common room because the trio are Gryffindor.
Yeah.
So it is located in Gryffindor Tower. It is guarded by a portrait of the fat lady who is never named in the series, and I really tried to find it. You never know her real name. We know her friend's name is Violet.
Violet, you're turning violet.
The common room is entered only by password that changes. And it seems like the prefects learn the passwords first. And then once the password is given, then the portrait will swing open, exposing the hole in the wall to climb through. And passwords appear to change at midnight. So, I don't know how long. I don't know how long.
The only time we really ever see it is when Sir Cadogan's like, I changed it today at 2, and then at 3, and then at 4, and then at 5, and then at 5:30.
Seriously.
And at 5:45. And poor Neville. He's like, I gotta write them all down.
Oh, bad move. So the common room is described as being circular, having several shades of red and gold throughout, a roaring fire, squishy armchairs, and it's said to feel cozy. I feel like that's said on multiple occasions.
Yeah. It seems like so I think because when you think of, like we've talked about with the color, like red and yellows, like you think of warm and warmth. So I think of like, when I think of Ravenclaw Tower, I think blue, and blue is like a cold color kind of, you know? So
it's a cool color.
It makes me think it's a cool color. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
She
said that and moved her glasses all around.
Like they were stunning shades, my friend. But it makes me think like it's just not as warmth.
Yeah.
Warmly.
I feel like it's like very much like blue skies and I feel like there's a breeze for some reason. I feel
like, in my opinion, like I would rather have like a cozy, big squishy armchair with a big fluffy blanket so I can curl up and read a good book. Or like even a windowsill, but I want the windowsill to not be cold, and I want it to be like...
You have a lot of needs.
I do. I just like cozy places to read. Like that one, there's a meme kind of thing. It's like I don't know if it's a meme or if it's a like cartoon where the girl is reading a book, and it's literally like her in a million different positions, like on her bed, like throughout, like that's what I do. Like I'll switch around and like...
Yeah. Oh man. Those were the days reading Potter for the first time.
Yeah. For sure.
There is a notice board in there where Gryffindor students can post things such as Weasley Wizard Wheezes ads. I thought that was nice. And Quidditch tryouts and whatnot. There are many windows and a portrait of a lion above the fireplace mantle. And we know that this fireplace is connected to the Flute Network.
Do you think that lion like roars?
I want it to. Yeah, I want it to. And we do know that there are parties held there from time to time.
Do you know what comes before Part B? Party!
My girl wants to party all the time, party all the time, party all the time. Important events. Harry and Ginny's first kiss. You're welcome. And that fireplace was used to talk to Sirius Black. And I said many hangouts and fights between the trio.
Yeah. Too true.
Too true.
Before you move on, this is just something I read some fiction of the fans from time to time, and a lot of times they're like they bring those colors into like their later years, like they're not at Hogwarts anymore, and like their house is decorated in like Gryffindor colors or Slytherin or Ravenclaw or whatever. Would you have done that? Would you incorporate your Gryffindor stuff into your home decor?
If you remember, once all my things were a maroon color. They've since lightened up. I'm more of a neutral kind of color girl.
Yeah.
With my home. This carpet is Gryffindor.
I've never noticed that. I guess it is.
It is. This is a Gryffindor carpet.
Your walls are like
technically it's
a
Ohio
mix.
State, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Can't wait to change it. Love my Buckeyes, but not on my wall. No, because I don't have Cleveland State things, you know?
Yeah. I was going to say, because I was thinking like, even like Marty Toledo, like he doesn't have like.
No. I mean, he doesn't have a say in that anyway.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like you said,
for who?
Neutrals. For me. I do like blue shades of things.
I have blue curtains in the living room for you.
But like my walls are gray and my bedspread is gray.
Yeah.
And I've got Christmas sheets on my bed right now. So
I do too.
Yeah.
What are on yours?
They're plaid. The majority of it's cream, and it's got red and green like plaid stripes, but they're like not over. And they're flannel. They're so nice.
I have flannel, and they are evergreen trees.
Very cute.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's just an interesting thought that I'm like, I just don't know. Like when I read them, I'm like, I don't think I would have decorated. Like I wouldn't have blue and bronze all over my house.
Maybe in my office.
Yeah. Like a throw blanket.
Yeah. I mean, I've got Gryffindor stuff all over upstairs.
Yeah.
So yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to paint a wall red.
Yeah.
Because it's just not my thing.
They had silk sheets that were like gold and maroon or gold and red or whatever. And I was like, okay.
But at one time, I did have a lot of maroon things.
Yeah.
Because they were given to me. So
yeah, don't say no to hand-me-downs.
Heck no. Not when you're in college trying to make it.
Yeah.
All right. So famous people from the House of Gryffindor. Harry Potter. Ooh, no. The trio, obviously. McGonagall, Albus, Percival, Wulfric, Brian, Dumbledore. Rubius Hagrid, which I feel like people often forget.
Yeah, I would agree. And
I feel like I wonder if he's Hufflepuff.
See, I was gonna say, I wonder if people think he's a Slytherin because he and Tom Riddle, like, they weren't friends, but they like weren't crazy enemies.
They weren't, and I wonder if Tom Riddle was like, "Oh, I'm gonna use him later on."
I just wonder if Tom Riddle was like, "I'm gonna try to like be friends with as many." Shouldn't say that. Be friendly with as many people as possible. One, to throw off the adults, and two, to see which of these people in any of these groups
are gonna be my Death Eaters.
Yeah, that I could use.
Yeah. And we know Hagrid's strong. He's got that giant skin. He would have been. I mean, even in the Battle of Hogwarts, Voldemort doesn't do anything. Like somebody throws a spell at him and makes him yell or yelp or something. But honestly, he could have killed him.
Yeah.
And it would have been no big deal to him, but he keeps him alive, and he has reasons for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had plans for Hagrid. I guarantee it.
Ooh, we should talk about that in an episode.
I'm just saying. It would be a good episode.
Interesting.
It could be a Felix file. Sirius Black, Remus Lupin, Peter Pettigrew Gross, Fleamont Potter, which we know is James's father, the Sleek Easy hair potion. That's famous.
His grandfather.
Is his dad, right?
I don't know.
James Potter, Lily Potter, Nearly Headless Nick, a.k.a. Sir Nicholas de Mimsy Porpington.
Nearly headless? How could you be nearly headless?
All those Weasleys. And I questioned this because I didn't know Ignotus Peverell.
And Fleamont is his father. I just don't remember us talking too much about him being that didn't connect that was his father's name.
Yeah. So what do you think, Ignotus?
I would say for sure a Gryffindor.
Yeah, it's not known.
Probably all the brothers would be.
I don't know. I don't think so. With their choices, I don't think so.
I don't know. Let's talk about that in the Felix Files. They'd be a
sort the brothers. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be so much fun, actually. Ooh, I'm really into that. All right, listen to us getting some ideas. So I went on. What is the website that I went to? Do you remember? Is it in here? It was like...
I don't know if I copied it or not.
I don't think you did. It was like it wasn't a BuzzFeed. It was something else.
Might have been a Bustle.
It was a Bustle article. And so I just thought it would be fun. It was like celebrities who knew their Hogwarts houses. So I thought I would tell you the celebrities that were sorted into Gryffindor. So some of these people I knew and some I didn't. So is this Margot? Is that
Margot Robbie?
Margot Robbie from the Suicide Squad movies.
She's also in other things.
Sure. Kit Harington from Game of Thrones.
That's Jon Snow.
Ivana Lynch.
That's Luna Lovegood.
There you go. Andrew Lincoln from The Walking Dead.
He's also in Love Actually.
Tom Felton.
Also from Harry Potter. He played Draco Malfoy.
Bonnie Wright.
She played Ginny Weasley.
Dan Radcliffe.
I don't know who he is.
Me neither.
Never heard of him.
And J.K. Rowling herself.
Yep.
She's such a griff.
Yep.
Brave woman. And so I just thought that was fun. Muggle celebrities.
Yeah.
That
Pretty
knew
cool.
their houses.
Pretty cool.
I agree. So that is your Gryffindor house. And I honestly wish I had like more concrete historical information.
Yeah.
But what are you smiling about?
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Like they don't give us.
There's like
you
nothing.
Know us. Like, well, here's the thing. So I'm looking I remembered like when Pottermore was a thing, they had all of this stuff like you could click on and read all about your house and like all this stuff. And then I found some articles like on the Wizarding World, and they had like clickable links, like you know how your like the little word would be highlighted and you click it and it would go to that. Well, so I'd click and then it'd go to nothing. They're like, sorry, this page doesn't exist.
They're going through something right now. They're in a season, let me tell you.
Yeah.
That website's in the season for sure, because I feel like they're redoing so many things and they've taken so many things out, and I'm just like, what are you up to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's not a ton of information that I could find like concrete wise, but so obviously I'm the Ravenclaw one. So Rowena Ravenclaw, she was born sometime in the 10th century. And it says she's from the Glens of Scotland. And so it's roughly like the fandom Wikia says no, it doesn't. It says 993 is the year that she was possibly born.
Okay.
And we know that she's obviously one of the founders of Hogwarts. It also says that she's probably like a pure half-blood, but like
I would think they are all pure.
I kind of agree.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just what
the only reason why I say that is because of Slytherin and what he wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like it would have been like, I don't know. I don't think he would have associated with them really.
Yeah. And so obviously she was known for her intelligence and her creativity. And then I learned that like the diadem was actually like enchanted basically. So the wearer became more intelligent. Wiser, I believe, is like what the exact wording is.
I wonder if it just like made your brain think in a different way, or pick out facts or clues, or make connections better, make you more witty and sharp.
Yeah. Yeah.
In that way. I don't think it put info in your head.
I think it just made you
think clearly.
Think better. Yeah. Use your brain in a better way.
Yeah.
Because they say you don't use your full brain.
What did they say? Like
anyways.
10% or something
like
this?
that. Yeah.
See, if I'd have used the other 90%, I'd know the answer to that.
So, Homegirl was from Scotland. We know she was friends with Helga Hufflepuff. They basically said she is the brightest witch of her age, which I thought was really cool. It makes me think of Hermione. And then basically there's the theory, and I don't know if this is proven anywhere. It just literally says theory on here, that she was the one that found the location for Hogwarts and named it. Which I was like, oh, that's interesting. And it talked about like on this one side how she obviously like had a wand, and they don't know, she could have gotten the wand from Ollivanders. That's probably where, because they were in wand making business since 13. No, it doesn't say 13. It says 382 BC.
Quit adding ones.
Man.
Listen, people are calling us out on Discord because they're saying that using that percentage of your brain is a myth.
Oh, hey, you know, I don't know.
That's fine.
But like, do you use 100% of your brain? I don't think you do. If I did, I'd remember things a lot better. Anyway, so you use more than 10%. But so she obviously had a wand. People are talking about her making it herself. I don't know if I think that's true. I think that
made her wand herself.
Yeah, but if Ollivanders was a thing,
well,
I can see it, but I can also just see going to Ollivander getting your wand.
Because it just makes me think of back then when people were making their own broomsticks. If you think about Muggles, we made our own clothing, we built our own homes. So yeah, I could see it.
I could go either way.
Yeah.
And then really the biggest thing we know about Rowena and her life and all of that stuff. So we know in the last book, Deathly Hallows, we learn a little bit more of her diadem and the kind of story behind it, because it's the lost diadem of Ravenclaw. So we learn that her daughter Helena wasn't super great. So she was jealous of her mom.
Yeah,
not only like her
jealousy, man.
Yes. So she was jealous of like her mom's intelligence and kind of like her notoriety and her being liked so much. So she stole the diadem that her mother would wear. Just so I think she wanted to become like smarter and better than her mom. And as I said, like it's the diadem is said to give the wearer great wisdom. So she stole the diadem. She ran away to Albania and she hid the diadem there. So Rowena didn't want anyone really to know what was going on. So she didn't tell any of the other founders. She didn't tell anybody that like her daughter ran away with her diadem. And so she sends the Bloody Baron, and they don't say what his name is. So she sends him to go find her. And
This story blew my mind, by the way.
Yes. So he's basically like obsessively in love with Helena. And she has like spurred his advances in the past. So it's constantly said no to him. She's not interested, and he doesn't know when to quit.
Clearly.
And so she, Rowena sends the Bloody Baron to go find her and bring her back to her because she is sick. And she is basically like fatally ill right now. And she really just wants to see her. I need
to see my daughter.
She wants to see her one last time. So she sends the Bloody Baron because she knows he's going to find her, and she's hoping he's going to bring her back. So he goes, he finds her. She refuses to leave with him. She refuses his advances again. He kind of goes a little crazy.
A little.
And he kills her. And then he realizes what he did, and then he kills himself. And so...
Can you imagine that scene playing out, Lil, and like...
It makes me like sick to my stomach.
It makes me so sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wonder if he didn't want to be a ghost and then he was forced to be.
Yes. I think that was probably
because it was his punishment.
Yes.
Oh, it just makes me so sad.
You hear about him, you can see like in his ghostly whateverness.
He have chains.
Yes, I believe he's got chains, and you can see there's silver blood on him. That's why it's called the Bloody Baron. Mm-hmm. And so that's basically like his penance for doing what he did for the rest of time. And, you know, I don't know however long you are a ghost for. He's been a ghost for centuries, you know, they both have.
Yeah.
And they're both now at Hogwarts, and they're there for the rest of time. Mm-hmm. And so he has to not live with, but essentially live with what he did. And they both kind of do, because what she did was not right either, stealing from her mother and then like causing the drama of her leaving her mother, and her mother literally, they said that she basically died of a broken heart. So stealing from her, that is not nice. Don't steal. Also, don't kill people. Things you shouldn't have to tell people. So,
you know, I bet that he could stop being a ghost if somebody called the Ghostbusters.
Oh my gosh. And then if you guys didn't know, so like Helena is the Gray Lady. And they said that she pretty much, no one has ever really heard her talk except for Ravenclaws. Mm-hmm. She will talk to them. But she really doesn't like to talk to other students. And you know, when you hear of her, it just sounds like she's sad and like the Gray Lady. You know what I mean? Like that just is like a morose kind of. I mean, also she's a ghost, so like it's gonna be a little morose, anyways. But
like Nick is lively.
Yeah,
lack of a better word. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. So like with the Gray Lady, and I think that she's also dealing with maybe seeing the guy that murdered her for hundreds of years. Yeah, and then like living with maybe regret of how she dealt with her mom and that whole situation. And then the Bloody Baron has to literally live, and he's the Slytherin ghost, and he has to live with what he did for the rest of time. Yeah. And so basically they say that the legend tells us that Rowena Ravenclaw died of a broken heart. And she didn't get to see her daughter again. Yeah. And then it also says she's most likely the first of the founders to die. So that's not a proven fact, but it makes sense. It sounds like everyone else was still alive when she died. And then, you know, the whole lost diadem of Ravenclaw was something of a myth at Hogwarts. You know, they talk about it, and Luna brings it up, and they're like, yeah, but there's a reason it's called the last diadem. Like, no one's seen it for years, like literally hundreds of years. Yeah. That they know of.
See, these Hogwarts rumors have a tendency to turn out to be not false.
Well, I wonder about that rumor about the swimming pool. I'm kidding. I'm just making that up. What? Did you never have... Oh, well, your school might have had a swimming pool. Ours did not. So when I was in high school, there was every freshman year you would tell, like the freshmen would hear, oh, there's a swimming pool on the 3rd floor of the math building, which sounds... like we have a crazy big building. We don't. The math building was just added on to like our existing school. Like, I don't know, however, significantly many years before I went to school there.
Yeah.
And there were only 2 floors, but there was like technically a third, and it was like a storage thing.
Yeah.
So they would tell people like, oh no, that's where the swimming pool is. There's not a swimming pool there.
See, we
told freshmen that.
See, we had a rumor that we had what could have been used as a pool, and then we had a rumor that there was like an astronomy like room that was then made storage, but no one ever like found it. So weird.
Yeah, it's odd that schools do that.
Yeah.
So we know about the lost item of Ravenclaw, and then we find out in Deathly Hallows that Tom Riddle / Voldemort, he goes to Albania because he heard of these stories, and I don't know, is it ever talked about that? Did he talk to the Grey Lady, or did he just
Harry
kind of figure it out? Tom Riddle / Voldemort.
No, he went and he did he
talk to her though? Did he just go?
No,
he heard the rumors and like that's allegedly what happened.
No, he like wooed her into telling him where she hid it.
Now I'm remembering. Yep.
Yeah, and so he went to the tree in Albania.
Yep. He goes and he gets the diadem. We know that he finds it. He turns it into a Horcrux. And then he, because he's so smart, brings it back to Hogwarts and puts it in the room of requirement.
And you know what I didn't talk about? I didn't talk about the Sword of Gryffindor. The Sword of Gryffindor was Gryffindor's sword that was impregnated with basilisk venom, which is a substance that is able to destroy Horcruxes. Harry uses it to destroy a Horcrux. The end.
You also didn't talk about your ghost.
Nearly Headless Nick is the ghost of Gryffindor Tower. He was going to be beheaded, but it didn't work. His head is hanging on by a small scrap of flesh. He likes to lop it off from time to time. The end.
Oh gosh.
These are things.
I
didn't put it. You should have read my thing and been like, you didn't talk about those.
I didn't think to. I don't know.
Well, I don't
read your notes.
We'll probably do this episode again at some point.
Yeah, we'll talk about the houses again. Who knows? And so it says Ravenclaws possess the traits of cleverness, wisdom, wit, intellectual ability, and creativity.
Man's greatest treasure.
It's someone else's trash. So tell me, talk to me about how you think I'm a Ravenclaw.
Baby.
I will say that I think now I see myself as more of one. I don't know if I ever saw myself as any of them. Maybe a Hufflepuff, but like in the way that you guys have never seen me at work where I'm like a whole different person. I'm very much like, how can I help you? And I work really hard.
You guys never seen me work really hard. I've just been lazy. No, you are very much like,
see, like,
let's dig deeper.
Yeah.
Let's find.
I don't like to do like anybody can do surface conversations. You know what I mean? Like, I like deep conversations. Like, let's talk.
Yeah. Like, let's figure out these times. How does this line up? What day of the week was it? No, but I like that you think differently than I do. We're very similar in some ways, like we were saying, but like you think of things that I wouldn't think of,
like ghosts.
Right, and relics. But it just makes me think in a different way. So when you bring stuff up, it gets my ideas rolling too, because you say things that I don't think I would have thought of without you. So I like what you do for me in that sense. What I don't like is, no, I'm just kidding.
I make you a better person.
No, but you.
Oh, I don't.
No. Only I make me a better person.
That's a very Gryffindor thing to say.
It really is. No, you're witty as heck though. Like I
need you to read
that.
what Steph just said because I've never read truer words in my life.
Which one?
She said Chandler is a Ravenclaw and you are Chandler.
You are Chandler. You're
yes,
literally
I
Chandler.
identify as Chandler.
No, but like you're witty, you're quick.
I just never thought of myself as like witty or quick.
Oh, you are.
And then like I guess that I'm like I just come up. I don't know.
If you ever listen to the podcast, you'll hear yourself. No, but you are, and you
literally
you
I
like
would hear myself if I'm listening to myself talk.
You like the facts and you like the details, and I like that about you.
Yeah.
And I do think that Ravenclaws can be stubborn, and they'll say, "Oh, no, we're not." Well, you're saying that because you're a stubborn Ravenclaw, but you're stubborn.
I think too, it's taken me to like really realize like the Ravenclaws that we see in the series. A lot of them are like odd ducks, and I like that's myself. Like I know I'm an odd duck.
Yeah, you're
like,
an odd duck.
So it's helped me to be like you're a Ravenclaw, like. For sure, there's also times where I think I'm like super weird, and then it turns out like everybody does it or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not as weird as I thought I was, and like that makes me sad.
We're all weird. Let's get serious. You all do things that you would be embarrassed for other people to know because you're weird. Well, guess what? Everybody's weird. But here's the thing: how I am one of my I don't want to say negative traits, but it's not a desirable trait. But I am hot-headed, and I get there fast. And when I'm mad.
Yeah.
And that's one of the more non-desirable Gryffindor traits that I feel like I have. And I feel like your not so desirable Ravenclaw trait is it's hard for you to admit that maybe you aren't in the right sometimes.
Oh, I'm always right. I mean,
but you always eventually get there.
Well, I don't know exactly what you mean by that. Like, right? In like saying I gave the wrong information, or like I was not acting the right way in a situation.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
Yeah. But you eventually get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's your stubbornness. Come sit on my couch. Let's talk about you. No, but you've been saying that you're puff lately. You are so puff too, though.
Like
you're very strong.
Because a lot of people would be like, "You're a Slytherin," and the reason they would give it, and I'm not gonna beat around any bush. I can be a not nice human. I think more so in the way that I'm a very, very honest person. I'm very direct, and I can be very blunt with people. And I think that people can view that in a negative, she's a mean way. And I don't mean it to come out that way.
Yeah. Sometimes you deliver things in not nice ways.
Yes. And there's some days, and I will also say this, there are some days that I will say something to someone in a not nice way on purpose. Like I was younger more so. No, not so much anymore. But I'm nicer with how I say things now. But like when I was a kid and I had much less of a filter, like I would say things to my sister that I knew would hurt her.
Oh, that's so mean.
I know.
Oh,
where like I wouldn't do it now.
Well, I'm glad.
But when I was a kid, I for sure would.
You
and I think
little
that's
creature.
how people are like, she's Slytherin because and I always tell people, I'm like, people that really know me, and I'm like, you cannot say that I'm mean and that's a Slytherin trait. I'm like, because that's not a Slytherin trait.
Pause. Beside my husband and my mother, no one takes care of me like Sarah Ann O'Malley. Honest to God, you guys, this woman across from me right now, she takes care of me, and I know that she loves me. So, and also, Slytherins aren't mean. Meg's like one of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, when people, I'm like, you can't say because like I can sometimes not be. I'm just very blunt. You
don't sugarcoat things.
My thing is, I very much value honesty. I will be 1,000% honest with you. I need you to be honest with me. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, if you don't want to talk to me, just honestly say, you know what? I don't want to date you, or I don't want to do this with you, or I don't want to, you know what I mean? I'm just being honest. You know what I mean? Like, I just need people not to like, you're not going to hurt my feelings. Mm-hmm. It's just going to aggravate me if you're not being honest.
Don't waste my time.
Like in all sense of the things, you know what I mean? Like,
I gotcha.
You don't want me to be here for this job, or you don't think I'm doing something correct. Just
tell
be honest.
Me. Yeah. Otherwise, how can you? Like, if you're doing something wrong, how else would you fix it?
Yeah. Like, it's just
don't tell me I'm doing a great job if I'm not.
Yes. And I think that's why people are like, "You're not a Hufflepuff. You're not a Hufflepuff." And I'm like, "I'm not. I'm a Ravenclaw." For sure.
But you have very large puff tendencies.
Like, what are their, it's like hardworking. I can be like detrimentally hardworking. I'm ridiculously loyal, like, to the people that I love and care about. What are other Hufflepuff traits?
I don't know, food.
You know, I love some food. I also love to cook.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I'm not a very patient person.
Ooh. Nor am I.
But like in my working career, like sense, I can be very patient with my patients if I need to be, especially now that like for the majority of my time being a nursing assistant, I've worked in a recovery room, like in our PACU is what we called it. And so it's completely different really from like working on a floor. Mm-hmm. And so for 2 years I've worked as an aide on the floor, and it's like a whole different ball game. And I really deal with like patients, the same patient I could be sitting with for 12 hours. And that just means I'm literally in the room with them, like sitting there watching them, helping, doing whatever they need that day because they need a little bit extra like attention so they don't hurt them. So like they can't, like a lot of times if they're older and they have like dementia,
They want to get up.
yes. Yeah. And they don't realize they can't. Or they just need more help than they think they need, kind of thing, just for their safety. And you need a lot of patience. And I never really truly have that many issues with patients when I sit with them. Because sometimes you can get a patient that can be like combative or something like that just because they just don't, with dementia or Alzheimer's and stuff, like you just don't know. And I like the nurse is like, thank God it's Sarah. Like they never have issues when I'm in the room because I'm a very calming person to them. Cause I just am like I'm here to get my job, you know. I'm not here to rally you up. If you don't want to do something, like, all right, we won't do it. Like, let's move on. Yeah. Sometimes I feel bad, like if I have to constantly remind them not to do something, and then I'm like, I know you're getting annoyed with the sound of my voice. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
it's just your job.
Yeah.
That's you.
I'm like reading people's comments about, yeah. Thanks, Tam. She told me I'm definitely Ravenpuff. It's a good club to be in. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I love to learn. I'm like the weird person, like the one day, this is how crazy I am. The one day, and it was a truly sad story, and I don't know how I got into it. And I spent like the entire day reading this page about this girl that was killed. Like her parents, like this was years and years and years ago, were like carnival workers or something, and they left their daughter with their neighbor so she could still go to school. And like she ended up being killed by them. It was horrendous.
What?
But it's a whole long story, and I don't want to get into it because it's super brutal. Ugh. But like I'm like, I need to know more. Like I need to like see what happened, and then I'm like making myself sick at work as I'm reading this horrendous story. But I'm like, gosh, I'm like, I need to know.
So
like
you need the facts. Is that what
I just like to hear the backstory. Like with Hamilton, like Jen and I, my best friend and I, like, have not seen it, know all the words to all the songs, like the whole thing. And then of course we're like reading about like what really happened, and like, cause you know, as much as majority of that is true, there's some things like in the one part she says that it's only the Schuyler sisters, and it's like, no, he literally just forgot to write that he also had sons. But it's interesting to like read the actual real stories behind things. And I think that's why I like dive deep and I want to know the facts, and I want to know dates. It helps me put it into perspective, you know? Yeah. And then I wanted to read a little bit of on Old Pottermore. They now have it on the wizardingworld.com. It says 6 reasons to get excited if you're sorted into Ravenclaw.
What?
Yeah.
Just kidding. Go ahead.
They're famous for welcoming eccentric people. I think I'm a little bit eccentric.
Well, a little is.
So it says Ravenclaw hasn't half produced a band of fascinating minds, many of whom touched Harry's life. Cho Chang, Moaning Myrtle, Luna Lovegood. Intensely intelligent, Ravenclaws are also unique and think outside the box. I think that's a trait that I have very much. Yes. This is usually a good thing unless by thinking outside the box you mean stealing other wizards' stories and erasing their memories, like a certain Ravenclaw called Gilderoy Lockhart.
Listen, that's just creative. Sarah, just know we really appreciate you. I kind of feel pretty self-conscious of my Ravenclawness and my personality, but goodness, you've helped me so much. Honestly, if you and I had gone to school together, we would have distracted each other in class and got separated. I just know it. And that's from Tamalam Ding Dong.
Yeah. When we were in high school, we had a theology class, and it was like I had the same teacher for both semesters. And my friends, Megan and our friend Gabby, were in the first one with me. And like all we did was talk, to the point where he's like, do you guys ever shut up, basically? And we're like, no. Mm-hmm. And I said to him, I go, next semester, I'm like, watch. I'm like, my friends aren't going to be in this class. I'm like, I'm not going to talk to anybody. And he didn't. He's like, yeah, whatever. Silent. I'm like, I sat there and I did my work. I'm like, not that I didn't like any of the other people in my class. They just weren't my friends like that. Yeah. So he's like, oh my God, I didn't think you were serious.
That's hilarious.
And so, getting into the Ravenclaw common room sounds like a lot of fun. Trivia and
Yeah.
what's the other word for it? Riddles.
Questions.
That's how you get in. Ravenclaws aren't just in it for the glory. Most Ravenclaws claw house through their support behind Cedric Diggory rather than Harry during the Triwizard Tournament like Ron. Many of them thought Harry had worked some trick to get himself into the competition, with the exception of Lockhart. Ravenclaws are usually a little more demure when it comes to seeking glory.
God.
They speak their mind. That's very much me.
Yeah.
For such clever people, Ravenclaws can also be surprisingly outspoken. The spokesman for unwittingly blunt statements was, of course, Luna, who was often so matter-of-fact about the things she could have been a successful stand-up comedian in another life. I can, now, reading it and thinking about it, there are times where, I'm so outspoken that, people are like, can you not say that?
Yeah, that's me telling you to not say that.
Yeah. Yeah. So their house emblem is awesome. It says with a triumphant eagle as their emblem and a glorious blend of blue and bronze as house colors. Is it? Because that's not what the movies portray.
Hello.
Anyone sorted into Ravenclaw is going to look autonomically fabulous, except it says automatically.
What did you say? Economically?
Autonomically.
Cheryllism.
Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It's Friday.
As well as being able to adorn oneself in a rather flattering hue at Quidditch matches. I do look good in blue. I was thinking about this the other day. Every house has a color I'd look good in except for Slytherin. I only wear green for St. Patrick's Day. I also
You wear yellow?
Black.
Oh. Well.
Yeah. But no, I don't wear yellow.
I was going to say.
It's not a shade that I think looks good on me. It says Ravenclaws can also take solace in the fact that their house animal, the eagle, is probably one of the coolest birds out there.
True is true.
And I was going to talk a little bit later on, but we'll talk about it now. The eagle is a symbol of strength, immortality, and closely linked to gods Zeus and Odin. That's really cool. I didn't know it was linked to Odin as well. And those are Viking gods, right? Is it Viking? Ever so slightly more regal than, say, a badger.
What? It says that?
Yes.
That's some shade, Pottermore.
Just you wait until I read something else and it talks some shade. And it's from Pottermore / Wizarding World. I want to call it Wizardly World because that's the Kent thing.
Yeah.
But they are not the same thing.
They are not the same thing. And WB would have you remember that.
Yeah. Their founder has the most tragic and intriguing backstory. So the whole story of her daughter and all that
Yada,
stuff.
yada, yada.
Yes. It literally says, despite Helena's theft, a fatally ill Rowena Ravenclaw sent the Bloody Baron to track her down, which he did, but with further tragic consequences.
I wonder why she sent him.
She knew he was going to find him. That's literally what another Pottermore article says. She sent a man to bring Helena home. Unfortunately, the man was the Bloody Baron, who was head over heels with Helena and stabbed her in a rage when she refused to come home. So, colors. Let's talk about colors.
Okay.
So with blue and bronze, I'm not going to really talk about the movie ones because silver. It's not important.
Yeah.
They'll talk about it in Slytherin stuff. It's usually associated with nature such as humility and being grounded. It has a strength that can indicate stability, security, and sturdiness. And it says people with this type of personality will often provide an excellent support to the people around them.
True.
It says the quality of bronze. Says bronze can indicate excellence and quality. This may mean that you are yearning for a comfortable life or you are longing for physical comfort. It can also, I guess, pertain to low value. Those who have this type of personality are known to be stingy. Honesty. Since bronze can be related to earth, it can symbolize the sincere and genuine feeling of the person. It can also be described to use as a tool because there's bronze tools. So this can mean hardworking and reliable. Mm-hmm. Sensitivity. It's warm and sensual. Being exposed to bronze will fill you with a sense of calmness and comfort.
I like that.
And it says how bronze can affect your personality. Due to the advancement in technology, several studies have proved that color can influence the person's emotion and personality. There are colors that can increase our blood pressure, and there are those that can regulate it. Bronze can affect a person in numerous ways depending on their personal experience, which literally tells you nothing. It can affect you, possibly. So that's cool. There's a bunch of other stuff that I'm just not going to read.
I mean, there was a whole stinking Bronze Age, man.
Yeah. And then the meaning of blue.
Give me the blue.
Give the blue. According to John Ruskin, it says blue color is everlasting, appointed by the deity to be a source of delight. It's the most dominant and vital color of human life. Surely is the warmest color to exist. Which
What?
I don't think that's true. It reflects our passions, our feelings, our emotions, our personality, overall, our whole existence. It is a primary color. Sorry.
Primary.
Actually, if you think about it, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, and Gryffindor are the only ones with primary colors. And then there's Slytherin. So you have to use what? Words. You have to use Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff to get a Slytherin. Color wheel.
Are you breeding now?
Oh, yeah.
Goodness.
Moving
on.
It says, our everyday life is heavily surrounded with the color blue. Skies, denim,
Water.
yeah, everything. And so it says, blue, it's a color of life because more than 70% of the planet is water, blue. Actually, if you think of water being blue, most of our body is made up of water.
And dabo dee dabo die.
They say it's a color of consistency. Dominating our lives in every form is a blue color, from our everyday clothing to most of our company logos to the infrastructure reflecting the serene blue all across the city. It's interesting. Ooh, I just did something. Okay. And then this goes into each a bunch of different city places and stuff, talking about what the color means for their cultures. The one in Greek mythology, it says it holds a religious importance. Deep blue is associated with Poseidon, deity of the sea.
Isn't Greece a lot of blue and white? Isn't their flag? Is their flag blue and white?
I think, but I don't know for sure. Light blue is mostly associated with Athena, the goddess of virtue. It's also believed to defend against the evil eye. Therefore, people believing in Greek superstition wear a blue charm or a blue amulet to seek protection against the evil forces. In Europe and America, the color does not hold any religious significance. In most of Europe, it says of the European and American countries, it is mostly a reflector of trust and security. There are some negative connotations associated with blue color in Western culture, from a color of depression to a representation of isolation and loneliness.
Makes me think of Picasso's Blue Period. His work during that time.
Blue can be associated with people who are caring and kind in general. The first and foremost question that a person with a blue personality will ask when noticing even the slightest change in the other person will be, "Are you okay?" They tend to be more sensitive in general and more perceptive towards other people's emotions. They are natural healers. Blue is an emotion. Being firmly in touch with their emotions and their ability to genuinely care for other people, they tend to be more emotional as a result. They often cry or get choked up on emotions compared to other people. Sounds like me. As a result, they are usually labeled as crybabies of the group, where in reality they are sensitive people needing as much care as they tend to provide to others. Blue is melancholic. Another particular trait associated with people having a liking to blue color is the fact that they tend to be quieter. That's not me. They also they have a soft touch of melancholy in their personality and do not wish to be associated with any violent acts. They are calmer and composed in general and would rather stick to traditions than to venture out any new ideas. Then it's it's loyal, inflexible, stuff like that. I won't read it all because it's a lot. All right, so I talked about eagles a little bit earlier, and then I was trying to Google eagles symbols and stuff, and it wasn't giving me a ton of information.
America, hello.
America. There's a bald eagle. I want to talk about a not bald eagle.
Eagles.
One that's fully
Eagles with hair.
Eagles with hair. And it says, because it talks about symbols on things, so it's if they have two heads or if they have wings this way or this way, and I'm I just want to know in general, what does an eagle mean?
Yeah, probably strength.
What does an eagle mean?
Shop.
I'll be shop. Should not say things like that. It says when an eagle appears, you are on notice to be courageous and stretch your limits. Do not accept the status quo, but rather reach higher and become more than you believe you are capable of.
Yeah, be all you can be.
I need you to see the picture that is looking at me.
God.
Because it's talking about flying like an eagle.
To the sea.
It says look at things from a new, higher perspective. And like if you think about it like this, like Ravenclaws value not just intelligence but like learning, you know what I mean? Like never stop trying to make yourself better. I just saw someone post this girl, she's not a girl, she's a woman I follow on Instagram.
Marty does that all the time. This girl at work, I'm like, there's a girl at your work. He's like, no, it's a woman. I'm like, then say that.
So she posts, she's like, if people that you follow all look the same, like you aren't learning. And I was like, yeah, like I love that. So like just trying to, you know, see things from other people's perspective and you know, there's no two people on this planet that are living the same life regardless of how close they might be living it or trying to, you know. Everyone brings their own like meal to a potluck. That's life. You know, you all bring your own stuff and you're going to go through it together, maybe eating the same meal, maybe not. You don't all put the same stuff on your plate, you know. So just learn. But that's the eagle.
It's a grouchy eagle.
He's getting a tough look.
He's grumpy gills.
It says, be patient with the present. Know that the future holds possibilities that you may not yet be able to see. You are about to take flight.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's a symbol for great strength, leadership, and vision. You know, it's been a lot of places. Hope and strength, representing salvation. Yeah. It can represent warlike ferocity, nobility, and dominion.
According to Discord, Kai is the symbol of the Roman Empire.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah. Zeus changed into the form of a sacred eagle to help himself control thunder and lightning. The eagle was a strong emblem in the Roman Empire. Pretty cool. I just like that she like will pull things. I don't know why. I meant to look up like what a raven means because like I just want like symbolism is like really cool. Sounds like such a dumb thing. It's like symbolism's like really cool. Like you put this there, but it could also mean this.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
just read the poem "The Raven" by Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah. It's just cool to like think if like pulling literally what I just read and thinking like that's such like that's what a Ravenclaw is like. You never want to stop bettering yourself.
You want to be a lifelong learner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's fun.
It is.
So I'm going to talk about the common room. And so this was on Old Pottermore, and then I found it on the Wizarding World.
Which is super hard to navigate, by the way.
I hate it. People were talking about it in our group, and they're like, this horrible web design.
Like, it's so hard to find the search.
I don't think there is a search.
There used to be.
There used to be on Pottermore, yes.
No, there like
No.
at the beginning of the Switch there was a search still, but
Yeah, I think it's gone now.
then why even have it?
I don't know.
Gosh, that's a topic for another day.
So this is like it goes to when you log in, your page will tell you like it says mine says you're a Ravenclaw, wit, learning, and wisdom. And it says you probably know some of Ravenclaw's most renowned members, and it gives a talk. But did you know why? Blah blah blah, blah whatever. Ravenclaw's common room boasts the most stunning views of the castle grounds. And then it kind of talks about like, congratulations, I'm Prefect Robert Hilliard. Delighted to welcome you to Ravenclaw House. It's the eagle. I think it's just some random person. She like, do you remember? Did you ever look at your stuff? Like it was on Pottermore, like your whole page would come up.
Yeah, but I don't remember who they said my.
I don't.
prefect
I
was.
only am reading it because I only know because I'm reading it right now.
Got it.
And it says our emblem is the eagle. It soars where others cannot climb. Our house colors are blue and bronze, and our common room is found at the top of Ravenclaw Tower, behind a door with an enchanted knocker. Arch windows set into the walls of our circular common room look down at the school grounds, the lake, the forbidden forest, the Quidditch pitch, and the herbology gardens. It just, the words sounded weird coming out of my mouth.
Herbology gardens.
It says like without wishing to boast. This is the house where the cleverest witches and wizards live. Our founder, Rowena Ravenclaw, prized learning above all else. And so do we, unlike the other houses who are all concealed entrances to their common rooms. They don't need one because there's no handle or anything. You just have to answer a riddle. And so you rap on the door, you knock. The knocker's going to ask you a question. It's an eagle. And then if you answer correctly, you're allowed in. And I find it interesting because it says the simple barrier has kept out everyone but Ravenclaws for nearly 1,000 years. So, like, I wonder how many people try to go up and they just couldn't get it. Or, like, they're just not even going to try. I bet you some I bet you some Gryffindors have tried.
McGonagall got in.
Yeah, but McGonagall's different. Because she's a teacher. She's a professor.
We're talking about just like students then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think in I guarantee you the teacher's allowed to go wherever they want.
Yeah, she still had to answer the question though.
Does she?
Yeah, she answers the question.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
I don't remember. You can tell that I read these books.
It's it's Harry listening to her through the door when he's in the tower with Luna.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so we know he's in there, which we knew, but
right, and she was a hat stall, so we know that she's pretty brilliant.
Yeah, and she was a hat stall for Ravenclaw.
I bet Hermione could have got in anytime she wanted.
For sure.
Just never tried.
Yeah. It says, some first years are scared by having to answer the Eagles' questions, but they basically said like you'll either, there'll be 20 people. It says it's not unusual to find 20 people standing outside the common room door, all trying to work out the answer to the day's question together. So I wonder if it's just,
how
if it changes every day. It literally says this is a great way to meet fellow Ravenclaws from other years and to learn from them. Although it is a bit annoying if you've forgotten your Quidditch robes and need to get in and out in a hurry. In fact, I'd advise you to triple check your bag for everything you need before leaving Ravenclaw Tower.
I bet it teaches all those students to be so meticulous before they leave because that's like...
Yeah. And it says another cool thing about Ravenclaw is that our people are the most individual. Some might even call them eccentrics, but geniuses are often out of step with ordinary folk. And unlike some other houses we could mention, we think you've got the right to wear what you like, believe what you want, and say what you feel. We aren't put off by people who march to a different tune. On the contrary, we value them. And then it goes on to talk about Professor Flitwick, who is the head of house. And people often underestimate him because he is really tiny. He is part elf. But we think it says he's part elf, but we've never been rude enough to ask. He's got a squeaky voice, but he's the best and most knowledgeable charms master alive in the world today. And his office is always open. And then it says, if you're really in a state, he'll get out one of these delicious little cupcakes he keeps in a tin in his desk drawer and make them do a little dance for you. In fact, it's worth pretending you're in a real state just to see them jive. And then it has the most illustrious history. So it talks about some famous witches and wizards that are part of the house. And then it talks about famous Ravenclaw ministers of magic include Millicent Bagnold, who was in power on the night that Harry Potter survived the Dark Lord's curse, defending the great, it doesn't say great, wizarding celebrations all over Britain. And a couple of other people. And then it says, as for our relationship with the other houses, it talks about Slytherins that are not all bad, but you'll do well to be on your guard until you know them well. Gryffindors are okay. If I had a criticism, I'd say Gryffindors tend to be show-offs. They're also much less tolerant than we are of people who are different. In fact, they've been known to make jokes about Ravenclaws who have developed an interest in levitation or the possible magical uses of troll bogies or ovomancy, which, as you probably know, is a method of divination using eggs. Interesting. Gryffindors haven't got our intellectual curiosity, whereas we've got no problem if you want to spend your days and nights cracking eggs in a corner of the common room and writing down your predictions according to the way the yolks fall. In fact, you'll probably find a few people to help you. It says for Hufflepuffs, well, nobody can say they're not nice people. In fact, they're some of the nicest people in the school. Just say you needn't worry too much about them when it comes to competition at exam time. And so I'm like reading this and I'm thinking, I'm like, these
why
are
are y'all throwing shade at everybody, you nasty mean?
I know. I'm like, this is the reason why like houses get bad names. Talks about the Gray Lady a little bit. And
Evil.
It says, you'll have a good night. Our dormitories are in the turrets of the main tower. Our 4-poster beds are covered in sky blue silk eider down. Except that's not what it says. Eider downs, and the sound of the wind whistling around the windows is very relaxing.
Told you it's windy.
Yes. And it says, and once again, well done in becoming a member of the cleverest, quirkiest, and most interesting house at Hogwarts. And
all right, so a house of jerks apparently.
Yeah, no, but really though.
I'm just kidding.
And then I wanted to read some of the stuff. So I have, which Tiffany does not have these books, the house editions, because they have
snot. See, this is continuing.
They have like specific like information and like stuff like about the houses. So like on the book sleeve it says. It has the little excerpt that the hat reads. It says, or yet in wise old Ravenclaw, if you've a ready mind, where those of wit and learning will always find their kind. And it talks about...
It's the Sorting Hat's first song.
Yeah, it's the cleverest house at Hogwarts. Founder Rowena Ravenclaw was a beautiful and highly intelligent witch who valued learning and wisdom above all else. Only students with the brightest minds and sharpest wits are sorted into Ravenclaw. Ravenclaws have pioneering minds and also are brilliant at problem solving, which is a good thing as they have to solve a riddle posed by an enchanted eagle door knocker every time they want to enter the common room. Their vision and insight allow them to soar to heights of intellect unmatched by the other Hogwarts houses. Not surprising, this house has produced many notable geniuses and inventors whose innovations have changed the lives of witches and wizards over the world. The world over is what it says. Obviously not me. And then it goes and talks about a couple of people, and it says, sorry, my leg hurt. Talks about like Ollivander, he's a Ravenclaw. And it says, Ravenclaws strive to keep an open mind and are not afraid to forge their own path. This is sometimes to their detriment, as it can come across as eccentricity. People may have laughed at Luna Lovegood for wearing a butterbeer cork necklace and entertaining the fact that blibbering humdinger might exist, but it was her open mind and insight that convinced her that Harry Potter was telling the truth about Lord Voldemort's return, when many of the wizarding world were doubtful. Where we see eccentricity in Ravenclaw, true genius lies. Talks about Trelawney. It talks about more of Rowena Ravenclaw. She hailed from the Glen, firm friend of fellow Hogwarts founder Helga Hufflepuff. Considered most brilliant witch of her time. She only selected the cleverest of students for her house. Thank you.
I'm literally just like sitting here.
Her aphorism, it says, wit beyond measure is man's greatest treasure, is inscribed upon her diadem and remains the guiding principle of the house she founded. A white marble statue of Rowena Ravenclaw watches over students in the Ravenclaw common room, and she has a quizzical half smile on her face, beautiful but intimidating. According to the legend, she died of broken heart.
You don't intimidate me.
And then this is the one that's in the first one. There's different information in the second books, in the third book. I don't have the fourth one yet. I don't know if it's out yet. House edition.
I don't think it is.
I know it's like coming out. I just don't know if it's out. House relic is the diadem. It's a delicate circlet enchanted with magical properties that enhance the wisdom of its wearer. And we know that her daughter stole it out of jealousy of her mother's cleverness and was found by Lord Voldemort, made into a Horcrux, and kept at Hogwarts because, that's smart. We all know he wasn't a Ravenclaw. And it says, we know that the beast is eagle. The house color bronze and blue. Eagle, like a true Ravenclaw, soars to heights others cannot reach. And then the ghost, Gray Lady, beautiful woman with waist-length hair who wears a floor-length gown, except it says cloak.
Why do you do that?
I don't know why I do the things I do.
I know why you do it. It's because kids do this. You read, and when you're reading, you say what word you believe will be next.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's usually what you will read.
Yeah, no one really in America says cloak.
So, and you watch a lot of those shows with the fashion and the awards.
With the fashion and the stuff. But yeah. These books are really, really cool. I suggest if you are into this, it's pretty cool. It talks about, at the end, it talks about the sorting Hogwarts quiz you can take. It's got some pretty drawings. It talks about the common room located at the top of the tower, climbing a long spiral staircase, wide and circular room, arched windows with beautiful views. There's the domed ceiling is painted with stars and a white marble statue of Rowena's right there. You had to answer the riddle. I just like to think it's also full of books, like books
Floor
everywhere.
to ceiling. It's like the library in
there's some
Beauty and the Beast.
like fan fiction-y kind of things out there that it's like, there's one I read and it has like that they have like another room off of like the common room where like the students, like as a parting gift to the other future Ravenclaws and the ones that are not graduating, they leave like a book that they've loved. And so there's stacks and stacks of just books everywhere, like in a room, which I'm like, gosh, that's so like, just sounds really cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
And then like the very first book, so Philosopher's Stone has a couple of things with like famous.
That's what I want for Christmas.
Okay, well, Christmas is literally next week. We're having our Christmas. Well, when we listen to it, it's over. Maybe for your birthday.
Tell your mom.
But it talks about famous alumni, and then it talks about the head of house, and it's got a picture of him, and it goes a little bit out like on about talking about other stuff with Rowling, and then this is from. I think this is also what the hat says. And it says, relish great Ravenclaw moments, moaning Merle haunting the girls' bathroom, Lockhart's freshly caught Cornish pixies, and enjoying exciting features and illustrations that celebrate the noble character of Ravenclaw House. And it's talking about more things, more Ravenclaw things, because we're cool. This has another beautiful picture. I don't know who drew these. You'd think I'd be better at this.
Doesn't it say?
I don't know.
Look at the illustrator on there.
I don't know if it's the same person.
Look on the front of that one.
Bloomsbury.
That's not.
Bloomsbury.
It'll be in the inside cover.
There's not a name on the inside cover.
Really?
Yeah.
Not gonna give credit.
I mean, I'm sure it's credited somewhere. But I really like, and I didn't notice, I think, until the second book that came out, Chamber of Secrets with the house editions. Each cover for each house is different pertaining to that house and book. So for Chamber, it's got like the kind of cover. It's got the two serpents on it. All of the books do. And then like the corners are all different. So like this has a big owl, and it's got like a book and squirrel, and obviously it says Ravenclaw. And
I thought you said Book of Squirrels.
There's other like little hidden things. It just is really, they're just so clever. And they are blue and bronze, which I really like. And so this one just talks about Ravenclaw's more. He talks about Lockhart a little bit and like the things that are going to happen in this book, being the Chamber of Secrets, so Lockhart and all that stuff. And there's more stuff like symbols and inspiration and questions and stuff, which is just really cool. Talks about more alumni of Ravenclaw. Talks about the house elves of Hogwarts, which is just cool. I don't know if all of the books are the same, like if all of the chambers talk about the house elves at the end. Yeah. I would say if Tiffany had them. Yeah, and they are the UK edition, so which is pretty cool. Yeah. And then this one too, I have the third one. And then I think each one opens up with like talks about, this one talks about Trelawney a little bit because she's also a Ravenclaw, all that fun stuff, and it goes into that. And then the end of this book, ooh, there's a pretty picture of Cho Chang and a Corporal Patronus. That's really cool. You can tell that I've read these and I've looked at them.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, I'm super into that. So those are really cool. And I will say I like the first one is only a black cover and the other ones have bronze on it. This one does not. The first one, the sleeve, like the actual pages are colored though too. So some famous Ravenclaw peeps. We know obviously Rowena, Helena Ravenclaw, Professor Flitwick, he's head of house, Cho Chang, Garrick Ollivander, Sybil Trelawney, Professor Quirrell, Lockhart, Penelope Clearwater.
I love how you didn't put Professor.
And you know what's so funny? I'm
You
like,
did
she's
it
going to say
on
something. We have Roger Davies, Marietta.
out, right? With Fleur.
Yeah, that's who she took. Would you like to go to the ball with me?
With me.
Marietta Edgecombe, Terry Boot, Padma Patil, Luna Lovegood, and some other people. I don't know if I'll be able to say this right. Perpetua Fancourt. She is I don't know. It's the inventor of the Lunascope. I don't know if that's a man or woman. Laverne de Montmorency, pioneer of love potions. Ignatia Wildsmith, inventor of flu powder. And this is kind of like all information. It does have some of this in that article, like when you log on to like your site and talking about famous people. Famous, like well-known
Wizards.
Ravenclaws, yes. And then it says there was also Minister Lorcan McLard, who was a quite brilliant wizard, but preferred to communicate by puffing smoke out of the end of his wand. Well, I did say we produce eccentrics. So he was also a Ravenclaw. And then, so Tiffany used that article about like famous, like in real life celebrities that were sorted into Ravenclaw. And so the first one is me. I was sorted into Ravenclaw.
You were not in that article.
No, literally, there's 2 people in that article. So
Yeah.
Stephen Colbert is a Ravenclaw. And then I guess J.K. Rowling was like, yes, you're a Ravenclaw, but you're also like a Gryffindor. Like you have some Gryffindor traits. And then Kelly Marie Tran, who's in Star Wars, like the newer Star Wars, she was sorted into Ravenclaw on Pottermore, but she like won't accept it and identifies as a Gryffindor, I guess.
Okay.
Yes. Darren Criss is a Ravenclaw.
Who's that?
He was he did a Harry Potter musical. He played Harry.
Oh, okay.
Very talented guy. He was also in Glee and other things, obviously, but he's so freaking talented. Warwick Davis is a Ravenclaw.
Who is Flitwick?
Yes. And then there was like this YouTube video I was watching, and they were talking about people that have said that they were Ravenclaw or were sorted into it. And I guess Dan Radcliffe said that the Queen, he thinks that she would be sorted into Ravenclaw. I don't know if she's ever been sorted. I don't think she would vocally tell. I don't know. Yeah. But people are like, I think she'd be a Ravenclaw.
Do you know who else is a Ravenclaw?
I can't imagine. Not you. My parents. Both my parents are. Who? Jen.
Chris Rankin.
Oh, yeah. That's right. He told us that.
Yeah.
But literally, Tiffany goes, here's this article of these celebrities in real life that sorted themselves through Pottermore. And there was 2 Ravenclaws. And there was like all the rest were all the other houses. And I was like,
you can't have too many in your house.
That's cool.
You're too smart.
Yeah. But I just thought it was really cool.
Nice.
Ravenclaws, man. They're weird, but also smart.
There any lightning bolt round questions from our Discord or?
I will say, I think that these house editions truly are worth it. I really like them. They're beautiful. I have them in both paperback and hardbound books.
Good night. Why?
I don't know. I'm going to start giving away some Harry Potter books, I think, because I don't need them. But start asking us lightning bolt questions if y'all got them. I know Vinny earlier in the chat had some, so let me go find them. I got to just learn how to scroll.
Yeah. You got to scroll a lot. So if you have any now, Discord, go ahead. What's your favorite thing about your house? I'm talking to you, ma'am.
Oh, you know what? Another thing
She's gonna just ignore us.
No, this is talking about being a Ravenclaw. So I went on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
I wanted to hear from you guys. I wanted to hear from our listeners. Like, what do they love about being a Ravenclaw? And then Megan stole my idea and did it too. which you'll hear from her first, but I did it first.
Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you. I'm just being honest.
All right, go for it.
So like, it was like interesting. I wanted to hear from like other people, you know what I mean? Like, cause I think for each house you see yourselves as something a little bit different. So for people in the Discord chat, if you're a Gryffindor, tell Tiffany why you like being a Gryffindor. And so a lot of people, you know, they love, it's a lot of people, I love to learn. This is from Laura. New things in any way, shape, or form. Facts make me so happy. I'm also extremely I love to be creative. Someone's like, I'm not a Gryffindor. And they're like, I'm kidding. And then Vinny actually commented, it's like, Slytherin here. I endorse this opinion. Learning. Jen says that learning. I love learning new things and creating new things. Lexi. We're a bunch of boss, amazing, creative, and smart people who love random facts and learning new things. Victoria says dishing out random trivia or being proved right by Google in an argument over something stupid or random. So true. Joseph, wit beyond measure. Love to learn and keep expanding what I know. Mercedes, when I find a subject that interests me, I like to do research and take notes. Education and knowledge can take you to some pretty amazing places. Agreed. Laura, other Ravenclaws recognize reading as a legitimate form of entertainment. And then Harmony is like, I'm not a Ravenclaw, but I definitely consider reading a legitimate form of entertainment. It's my favorite form of entertainment. Mm-hmm. Tam says, I think my favorite thing about being a Ravenclaw is how unique and diverse it can be. It's not just one type of intelligence. It can be wisdom. It can be artistic. It can be writing. It can be music. It can be academic or book smart. We're not pigeonholed. We pride ourselves on individuality and thinking. I'm an analyst. I'm a singer. I'm learning every day and love it. And I walk to my own beat of a drum. I also write long-winded answers when someone asks a question. What are you going to do? Blame it on the Ravenclaw. Love it.
Oh my gosh.
Gina says, I can learn things fast and apply to everyday life. I study psychology. I also like being able to see multiple perspectives and challenge myself to be critical and not narrow-minded. Jess is not marching to the beat of anyone else's drum but my own. Annalise says, I have a thirst for knowledge. I'm always reading and absorbing, and I think that's kind of cool. Tiffany, not this Tiffany, but a different one, says, I love to learn. I love documentaries, especially about true crime.
I like that. Not specifically true crime, but
you like documentaries. I do enjoy it. It just has to be a subject I enjoy. Megan says, I love that Ravenclaw is the house of learning, creativity, and individuality. I love learning new things. Monica says, I think the same as Tiffany. I really love to know and learn things just to know them. Elise says, I get excited to learn new things. I'm a critical care nurse, so my Ravenclaw comes out at work all the time. I'm sure it does. I see something new and interesting, and I go home and look it up so the next shift I can discuss it more. Another Annalise says, I'm a nurse too, and I think Ravenclaw traits come in pretty handy. I would agree. Melissa says, the discover phase, it doesn't necessarily have to be academic. Honestly, I love to dive into people, getting to know all about them and their interests, having great in-depth conversations, learning wisdom and advice they have about life. I agree with that. I love having like those late night conversations with people where you just tell me like random things that like you would never think to tell people. Like I love asking. I usually ask really, really weird questions. Then it's going to spur a conversation.
Ask me a weird question.
A weird question? I don't know. I can't think of one off the top of my head.
God, I thought you were a Ravenclaw.
No. I'm an American.
Gosh.
Kayla says documentaries, books, university, teaching my daughter all of these things, the comfort I find in learning and travel. I'm proud to be a Ravenclaw. Elisa says, I love reading and learning. I'm the poster child for bookish introverts, and it's beautiful to have a big group of like-minded people who actually get my nerd. Peter says, I love the creativity and quirkiness. We're unafraid to create and do new things. As a writer, this is what I love most about us Ravenclaws. We are explorers of the unknown and have the best methods to share our discoveries. Then someone named Ezra Kirk says, not being a Ravenclaw, I think he's just jealous.
Jeez. Get that Hufflepuff out of here.
Cecilia says, I love being creative and artsy and walking in a direction unlike others. I love being obsessed about knowledge and the smell of a bookstore and a new book. I read this and I literally was like, gosh, that is such a great smell. Like, you know.
I like sniffing some books.
It's such a good smell. I love stargazing. I hate it. And the color blue. I could go on and on. Temple says, I love the knowledge rabbit holes and truly in-depth conversations. Paige says, of course, learning, but I have the Ravenclaw editions of the first 3 books. And then they talk about how Ravenclaws are unique and eclectic. And I love this the most. It's so true. Like, I never thought about that until reading it, you know?
Yeah.
Samantha says, I love learning new things, helps find my customer service job. I love being able to see things others can't just from how my mind is wired.
How many more?
There's a million. I won't read them all. Books. Someone says that taking pride in being a know-it-all. This person goes, being able to utterly BS on essays and sound like I know what I'm talking about. People being surprised and thrilled when I actually leave my house to attend social events rather than actually expecting me to show up. Never, ever being bored. Being witty and creative. Thirst for knowledge. People are like the color blue. Our diversity, quirkiness. The person goes, this is Slitherclaw. I think the best thing is correcting people.
Did I write on there?
I don't know if you did.
I think I
did. Did you?
It's probably something snarky.
Being an outside of the box person, not choosing not to care what people think. Someone said having the one and only Sarah O'Malley in my house. The View, so true. The Blue and Riddles, and we have an awesome crown. Being in a house with other people who value knowledge and a good pun. I love a good pun. Someone says, honestly, I'm just happy to share a house with Luna Lovegood. A lot of people like being in her house as well. Being original, diversity. We're smart, clever, witty, and independent. We welcome eccentric people. People are like, just love me. Having Sarah as a fellow Ravenclaw. Having a weird way of thinking. That's so me, though. See, Tiffany, you could have done this too, and then we could have been reading and talking about what people are saying.
Well, I didn't think of it. I'm not a Ravenclaw.
Well, learning new things, being right, being creative, being able to read a lot. God, I can't read like I used to, though. And now there's a picture of a baby. But I just loved hearing, it's kind of really cool to hear just what other people, because again, like with Ravenclaws, we're all different. So just to see and hear how everyone thinks what their house is to them and why they love it, and it's pretty cool.
In a brief phrase, what's your favorite part about being a claw?
The willingness to accept like everyone being like weird. You know what I mean?
Okay.
We're just a bunch of odd, like that's my biggest thing, like taking, like really thinking about it. I'm like, gosh, we are weird. Like Luna, totally odd. Love her. Intelligent. Because she's able to it makes me think of that scene where she's talking to Harry and she's like, you know, what Voldemort's doing to you is so smart. Having you alienate yourself, because really that's going to make you less strong when you don't have that support system behind you. She's like, I would do that too if I was trying to do it. Like,
yeah.
And then they think like, I never thought of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
How would you say that in your Gryffindor-ness?
I love our need to stand up for what's right.
Yeah, I like that as well. I like that a lot. Is Newt's brother a Gryffindor or is he a Hufflepuff? Or a Ravenclaw? He doesn't strike me as a Slytherin.
I don't know. Probably a Griff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably a Griff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have any more that are quick? God, geez. You know, let's compare this just right here. How long did I take and how long did you take? Jeez. That's not Gryffindor and Ravenclaw. I don't know what it is. After we talked about Ravenclaw for an hour and a half.
I mean, it's so true though. I like to talk about myself. I don't know. I just like to talk as much as possible about, like, you need to know all the little nitty gritty details.
Yeah, no, we got that. Thanks. No, Tam says, Tiff, what's your favorite thing about Ravenclaw? Sarah, what's your favorite thing about Gryffindor? I think my favorite thing about Ravenclaw is the quick wit. I like that.
I love the bravery of a Gryffindor. You know, they're willing to just kind of like, it's almost like act now, think later. Which I sometimes have that trait.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
Yeah.
Depends.
But like Tiffany's willing up, like, and I do that. Like I'm willing to stand up for people, and
It's hard
like
sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
It's hard.
sure.
Especially for me because I'm very much not rocking the boat kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like confrontation. Oof, especially like today. Goodness, you saw that.
Yeah.
And
It's one of those things like you just
I'll
you
share
do
it
it
later.
without thinking. Yeah. And then you deal with it afterwards. And that's when you're like, all right, now all of my emotions like are coming through. Like it literally happened the other day at work. I've been a nursing assistant for 10 years and I've never ran at my job. And I had a patient, they called a cold blue on, and it was my patient. And next thing you know, I'm running down the hall to that patient's room.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had just been, it was like a whole thing. He ended up being all right. But I was like, holy shit. I like literally like, I walked in there, I had an armful of things. I threw it on the ground out of the way because I'm like, we don't need this right now. Like, whew.
Yeah.
Never. And it's like, you just run on adrenaline.
You just do
and
it.
you just do it. And then you're like, oh my gosh, like that just happened.
Yeah. Yeah, something happened with me today at work and I went and did and came home and cried. And then it just makes me think when you said that you do and then you deal with it later.
Mm-hmm.
On our way back from Gettysburg when we saw the accident happen with the horse and buggy, and Marty and I are literally flying out of our car and going and helping them. Luckily, everybody was okay. Even the horse was fine, but they should have not made it. But we were out there, we were helping, and like...
And not even everyone would do that. Like there would be some people, and it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Just deal with things differently.
Yes. And there's some people that like that, you know, for like my sister would never in a million years be a nurse. It's just not her, her personality. She doesn't do well with that, which is fine. That's just her type of personality. Where for me, I wanted to do it when I was in high school, and then I've been working in a hospital for 10 years. So like, it's just not, it's like, I'm so used to it by now being in those types of situations and working in a hospital and all of those things. So everyone's just a little bit different. Vinny asks, best house that is not Gryffindor or Ravenclaw?
None. Sorry. Next.
I mean, my own house. The one that houses my actual bed.
I don't know.
What's your second house?
Claw.
Okay. And so would we say mine's Hufflepuff?
Yeah.
I like the idea of that. It just seems like both Hufflepuff and Hufflepuff and Gryffindor seem like really warm, cozy. Probably because like the yellow and there's the picture that I've seen that might not actually have been like a Pottermore approved. They might be like someone else like making their own pictures on the internet of the common room. Just look cozy, and it probably smells like, you know, when like you go into a store and it's next to like a pizza place or like somewhere that like is a bread shop, and
I feel like it smells like a bakery. Good. Yeah.
There's a place here where I get like my hair supplies for doing hair, and it's right next to a Marco's Pizza. It smells so good.
Steph, yes, Marty has been sorted, and he is very much a Gryffindor as well.
Yeah. So just a breakdown of our family. So at least mine, both my parents were sorted into Ravenclaw. My entire family has taken the Pottermore quiz. So both my parents are Ravenclaws, and they're very much Ravenclaws, I would say. Wouldn't you think?
Yes.
But like in in different ways. Like both my parents are very smart. Like my father's very intelligent, both in like being book smart. Not to say that my mom's not book smart. My mom is also very emotionally intelligent. And she's not always like the greatest in school and everything. She's always like worked really hard in the way that like it doesn't come super easy to her. Yeah. But she's also, she's just a very well-rounded person, and she's gotten where she's gotten in her job and her life because she's intelligent, but she's emotionally intelligent. She knows how to talk to people, and she's just great with people. Mm-hmm. Like, shoot, if I was a third of my mom, I'd be like a pretty great, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I know.
And then Matt's a Slytherin, Marty's a Gryffindor, Bridget,
Slytherin.
She's a Slytherin, and then she was also sorted into Ravenclaw, I believe, and then she was sorted back into Slytherin.
She's a Slytherin.
Yeah, and they call me the mean sister.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just the smart one. She's just my sister.
So the only...
I bet you Matt's second house would be Ravenclaw, though.
Oh, for sure. My sister got sorted into Gryffindor, and then my brother-in-law got sorted into Slytherin, and those are the only two people that have been sorted in my fam. So. And I guarantee Alana will be a claw.
Yeah, she's ridiculously smart.
Yeah.
I could see...
She's a claw or a Slytherin.
Do you think Slytherin? Oh, you know what? Yeah, I could
Yeah.
see she's very cunning.
She is.
She's very cunning for a 1.5-year-old.
She knows what she's doing.
She's too smart for her own
She
good.
knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
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 Like, it's kind of dangerous.
Yeah. So I'm trying to convince Marty to do a Who's Harry Potter. I asked him last night. He said, I don't know. I don't like the internet. So I said, all right, Martin, we'll see.
And then Vinny said, do you think Gryffindor and Ravenclaw were an item at some point?
No.
I don't see it.
No. Just friends.
Famous last words.
Yeah, just friends.
I'm
We
gonna
should
stop talking to you now.
do you want me to read this fan story here?
Yeah, you can read it if you want.
Let's get into this fan story because it's pert near time for bed.
She's ready to go.
We gotta go see Santa tomorrow morning.
Santa. I know him.
You want to know how old I am? I just had to enlarge the text so I could sit back here and read it. So
my
next
gosh.
thing, I'm gonna get some cheater glasses. So this is from Violet, the Slytherin.
Violet, you're turning violet.
And Violet says, Hi, Megan, Katie, Sarah, and Tiffany. I started out a Harry Potter fan with the books, attending all the midnight release parties at Barnes & Noble, and then going to the movie midnight showings. However, I recently got back into Harry Potter about 2 years ago when I downloaded the audiobooks. I live in Los Angeles with the horrid traffic. I think I've listened through the series at least 10 times by now. Jim Dale feels like an old friend.
Aw.
My best friend lives in Dallas, and we listen to Swish and Flick and chat about it when we talk. Y'all are like our best friends. Ooh, I feel that way too. Okay, time for the Potter story. So my fiance works for NBC Universal in LA. Hello. Actually, I drive right by the park on my daily commute and get a beautiful view of Hogwarts every morning. I'm like bananas jealous of that.
That's pretty
Minus your traffic. His current boss actually worked at Warner Brothers when the first movies were coming out. From his point of view, the studio was apparently really cautious, and the whole staff was concerned the first movie would be a complete flop. Little did they know, it was going to be a freaking gold mine. Another quick movie biz story. My fiance worked on a movie with Jason Isaacs a few years ago. Jason told my fiance that the Battle of Hogwarts scenes were all shot at night, and it was a grueling schedule, but apparently the, quote, kids, or AKA the trio, were fantastic sports about it and super dedicated. He said all the child actors put the adults to shame on those late night scenes. Anyways, I absolutely love what y'all do and how deep you dive into the Harry Potter universe. It makes my nerd heart so happy. Love from a Slytherin, Violet. Violet, thank you so much.
Yeah,
That's
thank
awesome.
you.
I love that. I love hearing that the actors were like, you know, good sports about stuff.
Yeah.
Brings me joy.
As you know, you can find us on social media. We're Swish Flickcast in most places. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. There's our Patreon. If you want to support us, it helps us just be better for you guys and give you guys more fun content.
Yeah.
Be supportive.
Be supportive.
We appreciate
supportive.
it.
We do.
There's our website. You can buy merch from us if you want stuff. That's pretty cool. SwishFlickcast.com.
Yep.
If you have any questions, comments, concerns, email us, swishflickcast@gmail.com. And then, you know, that's us. We're Swish and Flick Podcast.
We are.
At least we're half of it.
So
We're Swish. They can be Flick.
as what? As
Well,
far-
really, they would be Swish because their weekend episode came out before us, and we're Flick.
So we're Flick. So what have you been doing lately?
I like to go last.
Oh, Lord. So I've been just basically trying to make it through December at work because the kids are so wound up. It's been pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just decorated my classroom door today. Did a little Grinch theme. I think I drew him with that big curly smile, and I said, "Smile, it's Grinchmas."
By the time this comes out, you'll have been gone for a whole week. Gone from school because it's break.
It's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah.
I can't wait. But now I've just been I don't know. Started Order the Phoenix Notes, which I'm really excited about. I've been lifting a lot lately, so that's been fun. And Alana started walking, which has been pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, but I did want to plug a couple of podcasts. Actually, I'm going to plug a lot today.
No, thank you.
So,
Sorry.
these are podcasts that I like to listen to. So, if you like Pokemon, the podcast is called It's Super Effective.
What's Pokemon?
It's not your business.
Okay.
Of course, Friends Talking Friends with Megan and Katie. If you like The Legend of Zelda, I like to listen to Tandem Legends podcast. There's Hyperspace Hangout, which is Star Wars. Rebel Scum podcast, which is Star Wars. And Flying Casual, which is Star Wars. So
BB-8 Radio, which was Star Wars. Just kidding.
Yes.
It's not a thing anymore. Don't listen to it.
So those are all, gosh. And our friends at Hogwarts Radio. So those are some Pogwarts podcasts. Pogwarts. Good night. Podcasts that I like to listen to that I can recommend to you guys. Still trying to get through Thrawn. I've not been listening as much lately because, sometimes when I get to my planning period, it's all I can do to like try and make a few copies and just sit for a second in the quiet.
It's nice. There's days where I've had a rough day and I literally drive the 20 minutes home in silence.
Yeah. Sometimes I just need a quiet room.
Yeah.
Especially lately. So that's been me.
Any plans for the new year? Anything fun you're gonna do?
Swishmas is in the new year.
Yeah, that's next week. From when this comes out.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there anything I'm forgetting?
I don't know.
Oh, okay,
I don't know your life that well.
All right, your turn.
Finished school. The semester at least.
Not forever.
Not forever. Did well. So I'm glad it's over. That's pretty much all I'm doing. Just working. Waiting until school starts up again at the end of January.
That's a good break you have, though.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yes, it is a nice.
I bet it feels
break.
good.
Yeah. I literally was like, oh my God, I'll read something. And then I was like, you have to read Order of the Phoenix. So
Yeah, but you can read other things, too.
Yeah.
I'm going to be listening and reading to do docs.
I do read every day, but not great quality things.
Yeah.
I read stuff on the internet a lot.
Yeah.
But another thing is I have a friend that I just want you to keep in your thoughts, prayers, good vibes, everything. That she was diagnosed with cancer. So she's having surgery the 30th of December. So just keep her in your thoughts and prayers because I would be very sad if anything happens to her because I love her to pieces. So that's just what I've been dealing with. And so that's pretty much it. It's hard to be a big Debbie Downer.
That's okay. It's life.
But I just want everything to go well.
Yeah.
So I know that there's a lot of good thoughts and prayer warriors out there that are going to send stuff her way. So I'd appreciate it.
And we've been watching The Mandalorian.
Yes.
Just to change the subject real quick.
Yes.
Been watching The Mandalorian.
The child.
Love it. Love it so much.
So cute. I can't stand life.
We're actually going to go watch it right now if we don't fall asleep, but TBD.
Yeah.
Because someone's... Twitter ruined the cameo this week for me, and I'm a little mad, but it is what it is. It's my fault for being on Twitter and not watching it when it drops at midnight, apparently. Yeah. Jeez, people.
Star Wars comes out, so by the time this comes out, we'll have seen it.
So we're going early. It's Sarah and I's favorite time to see movies, like at the butt crack of dawn.
I kind of wish it was earlier.
So we're going to go see The Rise of Skywalker, like, super early.
At 8 a.m.
With our whole family minus Sarah's mom, because she's going to watch Alana.
And she doesn't want to see it anyway. She doesn't care.
Yeah. So we're all going to go. We're going to get some coffee.
Yeah. I'm very excited.
Irish cream cold brews. Can we talk about this for a hot second?
Go right ahead.
Starbucks came out with a drink called Irish cream cold brew. If they make it right and give you a sipping lid, it's amazing.
Yeah.
If they don't make it right, it's
not
okay.
as good. Yeah. It's not as good. I will say this.
The cream, dude.
I typically like my coffee black. I will drink my cold brew black. I will drink my hot coffee black.
You drink it with almond milk, though.
Sometimes. Lately, though, I've been just drinking it black.
Wow, you're like serious.
And I, Tiffany tried the pumpkin
cream
cold brew.
Yeah.
And she was like, it's the best thing.
I'm all about
since
that.
sliced bread.
Yeah, it
So
was.
I tried it, and I will say I am not the type of person that likes pumpkin spice anything. I will have like 3 bites of a pumpkin pie. That's about as much as my pumpkin spiceness can handle. I don't do pumpkin spice lattes. It's just not my thing. I don't care for it.
Okay.
That was the best pumpkin drink I've had.
Same.
It was good. And so she got the Irish cream, and I did not know that's what the picture was she sent. And then I saw on Starbucks' Instagram. I will also say this: I'm not a coffee snob. I will drink any coffee that comes my way. I literally don't care.
It's the goodness of being able to drink black coffee. You can drink whatever.
Yes. So I saw it, I was like, oh, Irish cream. I'm Irish. I have to try it.
Well, yeah, we are O'Malley's.
And so then I was like, Tiffany's like, no, that's what I got. It was so good. So I went and got it. Or maybe it was no, I got it before you got it for me. And my mind was blown. Like, or maybe you did get it for me. And then I got it the
No, you got one before because
Did
I
I?
got you one and it wasn't as good.
It wasn't good. The Irish cream part of it was absolutely
Listen,
fine. The coffee
you need
was
the
not
cream
great.
to sit on the top, and they have to whip it long enough. And some of them just aren't trained properly.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
So
just saying.
it's so good.
It's so good.
Like I was trying to convince Tiffany's friend because all he drinks is cold brew, vanilla sweet cream cold brew, or cold brew with vanilla sweet cream. And I was like, you probably genuinely would really like it.
Yeah.
I really like it a lot.
I love
to the point where I've had it like too much.
Too much, yeah.
Like the one day I ordered
Tonight doesn't count because that wasn't.
I went and got some, and then like in the morning, I think this was before my class, and I almost went and got some more. I'm like, you don't need that much coffee, Sarah. Stop it.
Oh my god.
It's genuinely good.
It's good.
So
I love
if you
that.
like those kinds of things, go and get it.
I love that. Like, what's going on in our lives is a Starbucks drink.
I will say though, so we were at Target the one day, and they were like, we both ordered it, and then the girl behind the counter turns to like the other people working there. She's like, I don't really understand why this is like a Christmas drink. And I should have said something because I wanted to be like, I don't know why it is either. Because she's like, wouldn't you think they would have it for St. Patrick's Day? I agree with you. Like,
Bring it back.
What about Irish cream says Christmas? Besides, all of my Christmases are Irish because I'm Irish. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Christmas in Killarney.
Let's end this episode. Goodness gracious.
Long and short of it, listen to those podcasts, pray for my friend, and get some coffee.
We hope you've enjoyed your deep dive into basically just Ravenclaw.
I hope that you guys have had a wonderful 2019. And cheers to 2020.
Yes.
We hope to see you at our live
Swishmas.
Chapter
1.
Chapter 1.
Harry Potter and the Order of the
We're
Phoenix.
officially on
5.
We're still in the upgrade of the uptick of the amount of chapters, but we're on the downtick of books.
Sad
Ooh.
and weird.
Yeah. So I hope you guys have had a wonderful year. Swish has had a wonderful year, I think.
Yeah, we have.
And I'm excited for all of the Swishness that we have yet to see in 2020 because, we don't have that 2020 vision yet.
Yeah. I don't know how to follow that up other than just ending this. Okay. Are you done? What did we say this was for?
Dumbledore and Dignity.
Dumbledore Dignity. That concludes this week's episode. Thank you so much for listening, and don't let the muggles get you down.
Amazing! Just like my voice!
You could have talked for freaking 3 hours about it.
What, Ravenclaw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so tired.
It wasn't even streaks. It was struck. Everybody's hands go up. And they stay there. And they stay there.